We have now gone through almost all of the variables that make up the formula for change in this change dynamic program. And we're left with the final one. And as I closed off with in the previous lesson, this might just be the most important one of all and the one that we need to understand the most. And that is the variable P. And P stands for power. And the question is, where's your level of power? So as we discuss this and take a look at this, let me ask you, what is power? How often have you heard people say, you have the power, and you go, yes, I have, but I don't know what that power really is. I don't know how to switch it on. I don't know where to find it. You see, if we cannot answer the question what power really is and where it comes from, we cannot answer the second question, and that is, how do you increase your level of power? Now, often when I ask audiences about this, usually after a bit of discussion, the answer comes that power is within you, is within us all. And that's correct, but how does that help me to understand how to increase the power? Think about power like this, and the power that's within you in the following scenario. I'm going to give you a story. There's a little farmhouse, and old husband and wife are sitting there one evening, busy having dinner with the candlelight burning. They hear a knock on the door and they open the door, and there stands a light bulb salesman. And he introduces himself and asks them if they've ever used a light bulb. They've never even heard of a light bulb before. So he asks them if he can demonstrate. Out he takes this little strange object, and he goes to the roof, to this hole in the roof that they've observed but never known what the use of it was. He puts this object in, goes to the switch on the wall, puts the switch on, and instantaneously the whole room is lighted 20 times more powerful than the candle could ever light the room. They are amazed because they never knew that this power was right above them. This power was there ready for them to use, and the only thing was nobody ever showed them how to use it. Well, I'm going to suggest in the same type of scenario, you have that power within you, and maybe nobody has ever really explained to you where it comes from and how to use it. Let us define what we are speaking about when we're speaking about power. What is power? We can go into a long debate about what it is, but the simplest form of understanding power is that people who do not have power have to use force. Have you ever experienced in your life those days when you wake up and everything is flowing? Like Roger James Hamilton often says, you are totally in your flow. Everything is just happening. Why is that? Why do you get those moments where things happen actually almost despite you? It's like you sort of have to get out of the way because things are happening, and you stand in amazement watching it happen. When that happens, you are in your power. But do you also agree you sometimes, and very often actually, get those days when you wake up and just nothing seems to work? Everything is a struggle. Everything is a constant fight to get things going. You see, when that happens, you have moved out of your power and you've now moved into force. That is when you are forcing things to happen. Great leaders in history are leaders that have had power and have led with power instead of leading with force. So where does this power come from, and how do you increase it? For the sake of this micro degree, what I am going to say is that power is very closely linked to integrity. What is your integrity in your life? Let us first quickly again define what integrity is for us and for this micro degree. And the simplest definition is that integrity is doing what you say you will do by the time you said you would do it. Again, doing what you say you will do by the time you said you would do it. Using that as your definition, I am going to ask you to authentically look in your life, just in the past year. How much are you in integrity in your life? How often do you do and complete what you say you will complete by the time you said it will be completed? Now that's interesting here because very often we find ourselves in integrity when it comes to other people. We always do, and we make sure that we complete and do what we say we will do for others. But then again, we're not nearly as much in integrity when it comes to ourselves. How much are you in integrity with yourself? How often do you do what you say you will do for yourself? This is how you measure this area of power. And you will see that there's really two areas that I'm going to invite you to measure yourself. The very first area will be in terms of the specific area that you wish to create change in. Go and look at the last year. How much are you in integrity in this area of your life? Let's say, for example, the area that you've chosen that you really want to create change in is in your health. And if you look back in the past year, how often have you promised yourself that you are going to start exercising, that you're going to start eating right, only to find yourself postponing or not doing what you said you would do by the time you said it would be done? So in the area below where you rate yourself again, go and authentically, because, and I cannot stress this enough, is that the breakthrough for you is going to come to the degree that you are authentic and honest with yourself. So go back and ask yourself, in this area, if I had to rate myself from a 1, which means I have no level of integrity, I keep promising myself I'm going to do something in this area and I just never do it, to a 10 being I'm in full power, I always do what I say I will do in this area. And then the second is, how much are you in integrity generally in your life? So it might be that this is like, often we'll find ourselves when it comes to our work. We are in full integrity, we do everything we say we will do. But then when it comes to our relationship, we're out of integrity all the time because we keep breaking promises. So it might be in the specific area you are wishing to change, you are out of integrity and out of power, but generally in your life, your power might be higher. So also go and rate yourself from 1 to 10 in your life, generally. How much are you in integrity in your life? From 1 being almost no integrity to 10 being I'm 100% in integrity when it comes to my life. So go and rate yourself, and that will be the final variable when you're completed with that. Hopefully now you can see the bigger picture. Hopefully now the formula makes much more sense. And in the next lesson, we will talk about how we put it all together.